Hi, my name's John. Welcome to another Wednesday catch-up. This time I brought you up to the top of the garden. This is my new sort of outside undercover area where I can do a bit of casting and a bit of forging, blacksmith work, that sort of thing. I'll show you what's up here. I'll show you what I've done. I'm quite pleased with it. I've always wanted like an outdoor area but covered in to keep the bad weather off. Anyway, it's a nice little extension. The wife's still not sure about the colour. I've tried to get invisible paint and I've ended up with slate grey. I think that's about as good as I can get. Anyway, let's crack on with the video. This is looking up towards my sort of untidy industrial scape garden. That shed there started off as a wood store. Now it's basically a tool store. I've just put that shed together in the last sort of 6 months. It's used for storage, mainly storing metal. The shed with the double doors on is the welding shed. The plasma table is also in there. So that was a wood store. This one here is going to be for storing metal in. This is the open area at the top of the garden. That used to also be a wood store, and now it's turned into sort of a metal store and a bottle store. The last two Vivo reviews I've done in here was the forge and the melting furnace have been done outside. But what I have done, I've put a roof on it, I've joined the two together, so I now got a nice covered in area which is ideal for blacksmith work and casting. I'm no joiner, but we reinforced the little shed I'd bought, put some 3x2 joists in and then some 3/4 plywood for the roof, and it's felted all the way down through. Need to get the floor done. I'm going to get some concrete put down, so I've got a nice solid base to work at. See, I've got my anvil there. I've also got my vise there that I use outside. This is the sand we used on the last Vivo review, and that's the little melting furnace which I'm very impressed with. I'm looking forward to getting a lot more casting done. That's a metal bender, sheet metal bender. Unfortunately it's been outside in the rain, it's rusted up, but it will clean up. It means I can mount that out here as well. I may well fill the back of the rain, I'm not quite sure yet. But I'm going to put shelves in here so I can store casting gear, various bits and pieces. Once again, that's the prefab shed, concrete sections. In there's a plasma cutter, all my welding gear, and that's just sort of general storage in there. As I showed how we did the roof, just reinforced the shed and it's felted from the top of that roof all the way across. Nice, clean, tidy job.
This is my method for making sand cores. All the ingredients can be bought from your local supermarket. The first ingredient is molasses. This is thoroughly mixed with some boiling water. Next, we'll have one measure. I use an aerosol cap of clean molten sand, followed by 3 measures of silver sand, silica sand. It's the stuff we use for putting in block paving. Then we have 1 measure of cornstarch, which is corn flour. This acts as a binding agent and helps hold it all together. The measurements aren't critical as long as you get somewhere near. This is all blended together and let it grill. Once it's thoroughly mixed, you slowly add the water to the mix. The moisture content is quite critical. You need to try and get a nice fluffy consistency, a bit like porridge.
Bastard.
Yeah, these things happen. I had a similar thing with the cornflower, as you can see by the state of my jumper. A simple method for a mould for the core is a piece of stainless steel tube or plastic tube, the size of the core you want. This is split down one side and held closed by two Jubilee clips. As you can see here, the sand is nice and crumbly and light, not sticky and horrible. You don't need a great lot of force. It's filled from each end and gently pushed down with a finger. If you compress it too tight, the core will be too hard and it won't collapse when the metal is cast. A piece of steel rod, I think it's 5mm, is pushed right through the centre of the core and pulled out either end, not pushed in and pulled back, pushed all the way through. This helps the core vent as it's being cast. This is the clever bit. The hose clips are loosened off, allowing the pipe to expand. On the bench I've got a bit of quarter plate. This is nice and stiff and won't flex when it's in the oven. Once the clips are loosened off, the core is gently pushed through. It comes out nice and smooth. I only need one core for the casting I'm going to do, but you might as well cook a couple, because you don't know what will happen. You might break one or drop one, and once the oven's on you might as well cook two. The next bit is probably best done when the wife's out somewhere, bingo, shopping, whatever. The plate and the cores are put on top of the oven and cooked at 200 degrees C until they stop smoking. The smell's not too bad. It smells like a treacle cake being cooked. Better cores can be made using linseed oil instead of molasses, but they actually stink the house out. Here you can see the core in the mould ready to go. That just about sorts things out as far as core making goes. But I am going to do some casting today, and I've got the camera here, so I think I'll just let it go and I'll put today's casting on as well. What's happening here is I'm scraping the dross off the top of the molten pot of bronze. Some people might laugh at all the safety gear I've got on, but I don't want skin grafts, I don't like burns. This is looking good. Excellent casting. Doesn't always turn out this way, but when it does, it's very, very rewarding.
Once again, it's just time to say thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It is important that we try and get even more subscribers. The more subscribers I get, the more money I get. It's as simple as that. Anyway, thanks for watching.